Hello. So I told myself that I will be needing to post a YouTube video every single day. And this is holding to that. I've been sitting here for about 15 to 20 minutes just thinking about the different topics that I would want to potentially cover, and realizing that if I were to go into any of them, it would feel rushed and like I wouldn't have enough structure to effectively get my points across. Um, and and so I'm starting to feel like if I'm going to continue to create videos, and create informative content, because a lot of what I'm trying to do on this channel is, voice beneficial information, and maybe that's just my tendency, in having conversations. I tend to not spend as much time thinking about myself and where I'm at, but more, um, thinking of thinking in terms of like systems. Um, and so I have all these surface level thoughts of different topics I could cover, um, and even just realizing like, hey, what is my intention in this YouTube stint? Um, it's starting to feel like I want to be a content, like information, almost teacher-esque personality where I give advice that can be helpful. Um, Another way of approaching YouTube is to just have it essentially be a video diary where I talk about things that are happening in my life. Um, and so I guess I'm realizing that my tendency is to go into the information teacher-esque approach, instead of like thinking more uh, personally about what I'm dealing with day to day. And yeah, and maybe this actually would be more valuable if I just accept it as a, hey, this is how my day's been. Even though I think that um, one of my assumptions is a more successful channel talks about tools and, intertwines personal experience, but at the end of the day is informative. And if I were to go through just talking about how my day is, um, maybe that is, I'm averse to that because I feel like it would be less likely to be popular. Um, and and so I already noticed myself starting to think more about like, okay, what are ways to get views instead of like what is it that I want to create. Um, so I think that that's a valuable realization to have, um, and I don't have an answer to it. This is something I go back and forth on, is whether it's valuable to have a strict like make a video every single day, and I keep on kind of landing back to like, yes, it is. It is valuable, because I don't think I would have been able to come to this realization if I hadn't spent the time to sit here and talk. So I didn't realize that, I'm not I'm not thinking in terms of like what was my day like. I'm thinking in terms of, like I've said before, like what is the valuable content I can create. Um, and so maybe I just, one of the struggles I have with just talking about my day is that I feel like I'm here to present value, and um, and I almost feel guilty for putting up content that's personal to me and that wouldn't necessarily be inherently valuable to another person. Like I'm sure that someone could listen to this and find value out of it, but I just feel guilty for not putting in a lot of work to make something that's definitely like valuable. Because it's like, well, if anyone is, it's like it's almost like I'm trying to, reduce the potential discomfort of someone thinking like, like they need to watch my video. Um, and I this is something that I have a tendency to do. It's like trying to stop something that I think could potentially be a negative from happening before there's any indicator that it happens, and also trying to do something so that another person doesn't feel uncomfortable, or like trying to avoid another person's potential exposure to a negative feelings based off. And I kind of talked about this with the frustration, but a deeper level is trying to avoid another person's discomfort based off trying to stop another person from feeling discomfort by limiting what I would naturally do. And yeah, so maybe I can expand on that more in another video, but the more and more I do these, the more I realize how important and valuable it is for me to kind of sit down and have an intentional dialogue about what my thoughts are, because I have a hard time piecing these together while journaling. Like journaling is not necessarily as effective of a strategy for me. So being able to sit here and have it come out almost more subconsciously is helpful, because like as I'm sitting here and I'm having the camera point in front of me, it's like, all right, I'm going to continue to talk because I'm not going to just sit here in quiet. Maybe I'll have a few breaks, whatever. But just being able to sit here and continually jump from one of from the different thoughts happening in my mind is helping me navigate them. Because if journaling almost just is too slow. And so maybe this is a helpful way to figure out topics to talk about on a larger scale. I do still have a desire to make more concrete and and structured videos, but at the time, at this moment, I don't see myself fully committing to that. And I almost need to continue to work on myself before I feel ready to do that. Like right now, it's just not in my path to sit down and feel truly connected to making long form YouTube content. Like I'm more interested in getting a job and working in the behavioral health field than I am in trying to be a full-time YouTuber. Like I have other things going on. But I also have, expectations, and this is, I've seen people, what I've been exposed to is full-time content creators. Like the people who are popular on YouTube are full-time content creators. And because of that, the videos they release are structured and higher quality. And so I guess I'm going to, start considering a little bit more what I'm going to do is to continue to commit to creating videos at the very least for June. And I've seen multiple times the value in just getting a camera in front of me to start talking. And so I believe I'm just going to continue to do this every day, despite what I may be trying to convince myself not to do or to do. And I'm really going to try, I think maybe shifting it to like, hey, this is a great way for me to get to understand where I'm at, instead of this is how I present value to other people. And a part of me feels like that's selfish. It's like, well, you're posting these on YouTube. You should be thinking about your audience. But sorry guys, I'm actually going to be doing this for myself. So if you want to watch these videos, I appreciate that you want to watch them. But at the end of the day, this isn't for you, this is for me. And it's important for me to be able to say that, because a lot of times I do things for other people. I don't do things for myself. I don't feel like it's right to do things for myself. So yeah, what an amazing observation to have. I'm really, really grateful that I was able to sit down and start talking. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.